Here we are. This is another one of our marriage tips for all of you that are married. And we've talked about communicating and compromise and those kind of things. But what we're going to talk about in this segment is destructive communication. Destructive communication has to be avoided at all costs in the relationship. It does not work. It only tears down. Let me give you some examples. Okay, what would be communicating destructively in a way that destroys the relationship? Things like yelling, name calling, contempt, harmful behaviors that escalate conflicts and cause emotional harm. These kinds of things, when you're so heated in an argument that you just start with the name calling and yelling and you're raising your voice, this is communication that destroys the relationship. It destroys the confidence. It destroys people's ability to effectively communicate or to be effectively received. In fact, it even causes us to just not even want to be around another person if we know we're going to get yelled at or we're going to get name called. I mean, you start calling your spouse names and you're on a slippery slope to destruction, because now you're just labeling them with all this destructive communication that actually causes their confidence to wane, their ability to feel good is now falling apart. They don't want to see you, talk to you, be seen by you. You know, I mean, this is just, you're on your road now to just destruction. So you got to avoid these things at all costs. Like I said, name calling and contempt, and also you can't berate people and belittle people. And not only in marriage, but you can't do this with your kids either. You can't name call your kids. You can't berate kids. You can't act in any way like that with children, because now you're really chopping down all of those good things in their lives and who they are. So this kind of communication has to be avoided at all costs. So what do you do? What do you do when you're in a situation and, oh man, it's boiling up and you just want to yell and let something out? What you need to do is walk away. You need to take a time out. You need to do something to go get yourself away from the situation where you're not using this type of destructive communication, because it doesn't work. And you need to go, you need to say, Lord, I'm really struggling here. And you need to give yourself to the Lord and say, God, I need your help. Because every time something comes up that I don't like, I just want to yell and scream about it. You know, I've got this anger in my heart that makes me want to name call, it makes me want to berate, use people with contempt and all this other stuff. And you need to say, God, I need you to come into this heart and start doing the work. And then you need to surrender yourself to the Lord to let him do it. And while that's happening, while that process is going on with the Lord, whenever you're trying to go to that type of communication, just walk away and get out of the situation, because it's not a good thing. It's just terrible. And that goes for both husbands and wives. It can come from either side, but you got to get together on that and ask your spouse for help. You know what? Every time we get into some type of a confrontation or even a discussion, my blood starts to boil and I just feel like yelling and screaming. Well, tell your spouse, man, pray for me. I need help, because you do. That's the honest truth. We've all been in those situations. I was that way before I got saved. I was that way, but God did a work in my heart. And now when my wife and I come together and communicate, it's always good. It's always good. So let that be something that you do, and then it helps you. If you're watching this with your spouse and you know one of you is this, well, get together and work on it, because God wants to get you past it so that your life changes, so that your marriage changes and your family changes, and you become a person who's always dishing out love, compliments, and the goodness of God, and everybody around you will change. So hope that helps. Avoid destructive communication at all costs. Hey, thanks for watching.